EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game.
What's up guys, it's JHB Gaming here, and today we have another episode of our Würzburg Road to Glory, and we have a very big issue as we only have 18 players at the club right now. To combat that issue of having only 18 players at the club, I've decided to buy a 3-star, 4-star scout along with our 2 other scouts, and we have sent them to Germany, Switzerland, and the Netherlands just to find any players, as we just need more players. Despite us not having very many players, we do have a very solid team, as we are now a 2-star team. We have a 69 rated offense, a 65 rated midfield, and a 65 rated defense. We will be lining up in a 4-2-3-1. We will have Mueller in goal, Hemmerich at right back, Hagel and Hoffman at center backs, Hathers at left back, Lubicic and Nasi at defensive mids, Sontheimer at center attacking mid, Hintermeyer and Schulte at outside attacking mids, with Krishashvili up top. We will now be promoting a variety of youth players to our team as we just look to increase our numbers, with the first of those being Joachim Lehner. He is a 6'2" goalkeeper with an overall of 52 and a potential of 66 to 88. He most likely will not be a player for us in the future, however he could be a good third choice goalkeeper. Killian Auer will also be joining us. He is a 6'1" defensive mid. He is a 51 overall with a potential of 71 to 91. He definitely could be a player for us in the future. However, he will need a time to develop. Lorenz Bindheimer will also be joining us. He is a 6'2" physically strong left back with an overall of 52 and potential of 66 to 92. He, again, could be a good player for us in the future. However, right now we just need him to be a reserve. We have made our first big signing of the season as we have signed Zivkovic from Sheffield United. He is a striker. We bought him for $3 million. He is a 70 overall. He has a high potential. He used to be a good FIFA Wonder Kid, and we hope to bring him back to that Wonder Kid level. With us buying Zivkovic, I've decided to sell Luka Pfeiffer to CFR 1907 Cluj for $890,000. I have also sold Nicholas Hoffman to Al Hazem for $380,000. One player from our youth academy that I'm going to be promoting is Luke Decker. He is a 5'9" defensive-minded left back. He is right-footed though, so he will be playing right back for us. He is a 60 overall with a potential of 76 to 94. He is an exciting prospect, so he definitely will be playing for us in the near future, however, just not this season. Another player I'm promoting is Max Schmidt. He is a 5'11" winger. He is a 65 overall with a potential of 71 to 94. Schmidt is showing a great potential, however that likely will end up going up higher as we will be playing him in many games this season as he is that good. Another player I have sold is Jorn Kuhn to Bristol Rovers for $280,000. I will be promoting another youth player to our first team as Ralph Schneider will be joining us. He is a attacking mid. He is a 60 overall and he has a potential of 69 to 93. He is not showing great potential, so he most likely will not be with us for much longer. We now have our first game of the season as we host SV Waldhof. For this season, we will continue to line up in that 4-2-3-1. We will have Mueller in goal, Hemmerich at right back, Hintermeyer and Hagel at center backs, Hathers at left back, Nasi and Lubicic at defensive mids, Schulte, Krishashvili, and Sontheimer at attacking mids with Zivkovic up top. SV Waldhof will also be lining up in a 4-2-3-1. In the 19th minute, we whip in a corner, however is punched away. Schulte gets the ball on the edge of box, he plays Hagel, plays Lubicic. Lubicic ends up losing the ball as Waldhof are now looking to counter. However, Hemmerich stops that very quickly. Schulte plays Zivkovic. Zivkovic then plays Krishashvili in behind the defense with the perfect ball as Krishashvili just has to tap it into the back of the net as we go up 1-0 in the 21st minute. In the 23rd minute, their player commits a nasty challenge on Schulte as he will end up being red carded for that challenge. As you can see on this replay, it was a nasty challenge and it could have been very serious for Schulte, however he would end up not being injured. Right after that red card, Hemorrhage gets the ball on the edge of our box. He then crosses it into Krishavili, who puts it into the back of the net to put us up 2-0 in the 25th minute. In the 62nd minute, Krishavili gets the ball. He plays it in behind the defense for Zivkovic. He is able to get the ball and then turn inside the box, and he smashes it into the back of the net as he scores in his debut to put us up 3-0 in the 63rd minute. In the 65th minute, we win the ball back from their left back. Zivkovic then makes a very silly challenge on their player. He is going to get carded for the offense. It's just a matter of whether it's a yellow or a red, and it would end up being a red, as he is now suspended for our next game. In the 69th minute, Nessie gets the ball out wide to Sontheimer. He plays it into Krishavili, who holds the ball up before Ljubicic, who is able to touch it past the defender and smash it into the back of the net to put us up 4-0 in the 71st minute. In the 72nd minute, Krishavili takes on 4 defenders on the dribble. He is able to get past them. He goes and puts it into the side netting to put us up 5-0 in the 73rd minute. At full time, we would end up winning 5-0 as we absolutely destroy SV Woldhof in the first game of the season. We now have our first game in the DFB Pokal as we travel to face Kiel. Kiel will be lining up in a 4-3-3 holding. We will line up in our 4-2-3-1 as it worked well for us in the first game of the season. In the 41st minute, Ljubicic gets the ball. He then plays it into Nassi, who plays Sontheimer, who is able to turn his defender, get in behind the defense, and cross it back post to Krishavili, who puts the ball into the back of the net to put us up 1-0 in the 42nd minute. That goal by Krishavili would end up being the only goal as we knock Kiel out of the DFB Pokal by beating them 1-0. We now have some league action as we host Hansa Rostock. I have decided to change our formation and shape. We will be now lining up in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. We'll have Hemorrhage at right back, Ljubicic and Hagel at center backs with Hatherts at left back. We'll have Nasi at defensive mid, Schulte and Sontheimer at center mids, Krishavili at attacking mid with Zivkovic and Schmidt up top. Hansa Rostock will be lining up in a 3-4-3. We definitely will have to take advantage of our 4 midfielders as we have the numerical advantage. In the 18th minute, Rostock have a corner. We were able to block their first and second attempts. They now look to swing the ball back into the box. Krishavili then goes to challenge the ball. He ends up winning the ball. He plays it into Nassi as we now look to break on the counter. He plays Schmidt, who lofts the ball through into Zivkovic, who is now 1-on-1 with the keeper. He composes himself and puts it into the back of the net as we go up 1-0 in the 21st minute. In stoppage time of the first half, we launch the ball up to Zivkovic. He heads it to Schmidt, who gets around his defender. He then lays it back to Krishavili, who puts it into the back of the net to put us up 2-0 before halftime. In the 51st minute, we play the ball into Hatherts, who plays it into Sontheimer. As we are swinging the ball, it gets played into Schmidt, who plays Schulte, who plays it in behind the defense for Zivkovic. Zivkovic uses his pace to get around the defender, and then puts it into the side netting to put us up 3-0 in the 53rd minute. In the 65th minute, Rostock have the ball on the edge of our box. They are being patient with the ball. We then get the ball, and we fail to clear it before their player puts it near post past Mueller to make the score now 3-1. In the 87th minute, Sontheimer loses the ball. They then look to counterattack us right down our throats, as they're able to do so with an absolutely amazing strike as it goes right up for 90 in the 89th minute to make the score now 3-2. At full time, we would be able to hold them off as we went on to win 3-2 thanks to a goal from Krishavili and 2 goals from Zivkovic. We now have a league game as we travel to face Fourth. Fourth will be lining up in a 4-3-3 holding. We have not made any changes to our starting lineup as we continue to line up in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. In the 22nd minute, Schmidt is 1-on-1 with the keeper. His first shot, he misses it as he hits the near post. We now have a throw-in after they clear the ball. Zivkovic plays it into Schmidt. Schmidt plays it back to Sontheimer, who plays it into Nassi, who then is able to find Schmidt. Schmidt does not take control of it the first time. He then crosses it in. as now fourth and now on the counterattack. The ball gets played into their striker. They continue to move the ball very well, as we just cannot stop the ball. They then get the ball out wide. Their player then decides to go back and play it back into their striker. They're now looking dangerous. Hegel does not win the ball. We then end up trying to play it back to Mueller to clear it. However, it does not work, as Force now go up 1-0. In the 34th minute, Zivkovic plays the ball into Schulte. He then puts it past the keeper to tie the game up at 1-1. In the 68th minute, we end up winning the ball back. As we look to swing the ball around, Krishishvili then plays it out wide to Hemmerich, who then plays it into Zivkovic, who uses his speed and strength to get around the defender. He then crosses it into the box for Krishishvili, who puts it into the back of the net to put us up 2-1 in the 70th minute. At full time, we would end up winning 2-1 thanks to goals from Schultz and Krishishvili. We now have a tough game in the DFB Pokal as we travel to face Werder Bremen. They will be lining up in a 3-4-2-1. This is a very offensive formation, so our defense will definitely have a tough task. For this game, I've decided to change us back to the 4-2-3-1 as I look to have a little bit more defensive stability. In the 35th minute, we look to pass the ball out, but it does not work. Werder Bremen then immediately capitalized on our mistake to put them up 1-0 in the 36th minute. At full time, we would end up losing to Werder Bremen 1-0 and get knocked out of the DFB Pokal. We now have a game in the league as we travel to face Unterhaching. Unterhaching will be lining up in a 4-4-2. We will be lining up in that 4-2-3-1. The only change we have made is Decker is in for Hathertz as he is out suspended. In the 7th minute, we have the ball in their half. Zivkovic gets the ball. He then backheels it to Krishishvili, who puts it into the back of the net to put us up 1-0 in the 8th minute. In the 11th minute, Unterhaching gets the ball. The player is played in our box and he curls it around to Mueller to tie the game up at 1-1. In the 21st minute, the ball gets switched out to Decker. He then plays Schmidt in behind the defense. He then picks his head up and he continues to dribble. He then cuts it back across for Krishishvili, who puts it into the back of the net to put us up 2-1. In the 42nd minute, Unterhaching have the ball on the right. They are then able to combine it before their player gets open on the wing. He then cuts it back and plays it to his teammate in the box, who cuts it back and their player puts it into the back of the net to tie the game up at 2-2 in the 44th minute. In the 88th minute, after Unterhaching have a corner, their second attempt does not go as it goes right into Mueller's hands. Mueller gives the ball to Hintermeyer, who plays the ball out wide to Hemmerich, who then lost the ball over the defense for Sontheimer as he uses his pace to get away from the defender. He was 1-1 with the goalie before he cuts it back to Krishishvili, who puts the ball into the back of the net to put us up 3-2 in the dying moments of the game. At full time, we would go on to win 3-2 thanks to goals from Zivkovic and Krishishvili. We have gotten some bad news as Max Schmidt has broken his ankle and he will be out for the next 2 months. One youth player that our scouts have found and that I will be promoting to the first team is Marvin Hendricks. He is a 5'7" technically gifted center forward. He has an overall of 60 and a potential of 76 to 94. Hendricks is showing great potential, so he is most likely going to be a good player for us in the future. Another player that will be joining Hendricks and being promoted is Jorn Vogel. He is a 5'11" left mid winger. He has an overall of 63 with a potential of 67 to 93. Vogel also has great potential as he could be a good counterpunch to Schmidt. The final youth player that I will be promoting right now is Peter Kaiser. He is a technically gifted left mid. He has a 60 overall with a potential of 73 to 94. Kaiser is an exciting prospect, so we definitely will have to make sure to keep him happy and playing well so that dynamic potential could take over and he could be even better. Heading into the halfway point of the season, we're currently first in the league as we have played 19 games and we've earned 53 points as we look to go on to win the league as we are 12 points ahead of second place.
EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game.